Hi and welcome to World of
WATSORB.
Part 4 of my Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII Remake comparison and review series. And we are off on a brand new mission.
How did you guess?
Easy. You've been acting weird. Like talking about one thing when you're obviously thinking about something else.
Yeah, and don't get me started on all that pep.
All right, I'll give you that. But how did you know I wanted to head topside? Was I talking in my sleep? What else did I say?
No, we just figured you wanted to see your parents, that's all.
Nailed it, huh?
Yep, right on the head.
So, seeing as we don't have any family of our own, how about you let us be a part of yours for a bit? You know, spread the wealth.
Are your parents still around?
No.
Okay then. Guess you're all invited. Here's to awkward family reunions.
Yeah!
So we learn here firstly that Jessie's been worrying about talking about Cloud in her sleep, but more importantly that she has other family, her parents living atop the Midgar upper plate.
Yes, ma'am.
Then let's lay down some rubber.
Crank that throttle!
Okay, you got it.
But we'll see that she does have an ulterior, main mission linked plan.
Just so you know, I'm not going plateside for the reason they think I am. Look, you saw the way the reactor went up. It was huge, right?
Because of all the Mako. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah. That was wishful thinking. Deep down, I know it was my fault. I used a more powerful blasting agent than the directions called for. It had nothing to do with the Mako.
Still plagued with misplaced guilt over the result of the Reactor 1 bombing, Jessie's looking to make amends for that.
So what?
I'm planning on using a weaker blasting agent this time. But, since I can't get in touch with my supplier, our only option is to loot a warehouse owned by Shinra.
Shinra? Good luck with that.
With your help, we won't need luck. ID scan, ready?
So, with no original material to draw upon, we see new elements brought to the storyline. Yes, to add some padding, but we are also allowed a closer look into Biggs, Wedge, and especially Jessie's lives. We start the playable action in scenes reminiscent of later Escape from Midgar, and of course the linked Gold Saucer game that would come after that. Controls are very much the same for this as within the original, but I'll leave the comparison with that until we actually get to that part of the story. So some little stunts and jumps, and we hear the new soundtrack music, which I have to say I'm not as inspired by as I was with the original score. And in fact, I'd say that the whole mission does at times have a very separate feel to it. And there we have a quick glimpse of what seems a brand new mid-level boss antagonist who looks like he'll reappear throughout the remake story. As it's completely aside from the original game's story, I do think that it feels like that, and at some moments I did start to wish that we were moving on with the original tale. However, for the new player, I don't think they would find that negative in there. Maybe just me, but I think any experienced Final Fantasy VII player would feel it. And that's something that I'll maybe touch on later in this episode. That needed to perhaps be more accepting of any changes which may be coming in the storyline for the remake.
But you may address me by the more accurate appellation, Speed Demon!
Heard that, huh?
My ears are attuned to the feminine.
Clearly the need was felt to have additional antagonists like Roche to beef up the expanded storylines, and I do wonder if we'll see either him or other ones like him added into the mix and perhaps other characters' side stories as we go along.
Until one of our flames is forever extinguished, our thanks will never end! Coming for me!
Whilst I do like the idea of his addition, thus far he is not appealing to me as a classic character and feels somewhat forced just now. But I'm willing to give him a chance, and as the remake progresses I assume he will feature further in the later installments.
Let's push it past the red line!
Jessie, take over.
Cloud takes charge, and with, to be fair, an equally ridiculous piece of physics, he leaps to dispatch Roche while dispatches Bike for now.
Well, well, well. I do believe this round is yours. Maybe next time we can keep it just between the two of us.
Maybe.
Until we meet again, my friend!
So we move on to a place we never really explored in detail in the original game, other than the main initial missions at the upper section of the Midgar Plate. And here we'll get to learn more about Jessie's personal story.
Employee housing district, where they put you when your parents worked for Shinra. While their reactors were slowly killing the planet, we were living the good life.
As we journey on towards this mission's goal, we get to see the realism in this new improved Midgar. Normal houses, normal life, which is something that I never really considered when I was playing the original game. A sign here of things to come, as Wedge is shown to have an affinity with cats. I wonder if this and Biggs's pasts will maybe also be explored in the same manner as Jessie's is being in this. A little nod to Class Division from Biggs there, but I like this wee advert for Shinra showing the kind of propaganda which Cloud himself would have succumbed to 7 years before the events at the start of these games.
You know what to do.
Also, the wee dog in the corner of that advert seems to be important to the rebels in the remake and is featured in later missions. So as we head to our spot, we see the real reasons behind Jessie's requests.
With your help, we won't need luck. You'll take on just about any job, right? Well, I need you to rob my house. Think you can do that for me? Go in through the back door when the coast is clear. The signal will be obvious.
Some more cats there. Seems to be a theme. And this one seems to have a bit of an attitude.
It's go time.
With the emphasis on these cats, it does make me wonder if there's more to them, or if this is just more hints towards Wedge's little backstory.
I need you to grab his Shinra ID card. And yeah, I know I should do it myself, but... but I honestly don't think I'm up to it.
Jessie's situation really being opened up here with this chapter of the remake, and the reasons for her Avalanche membership. We'll see the reasons for her dad's illness shortly.
My dad, he was a maintenance supervisor at the reactor.
So as we grab the security card, we're going to find a letter on the floor of the bedroom, and we have the option to read it or not. If you choose not to, simply place back on the dresser and you will move on. But if you do read it, there's reference to a play that takes place at the Gold Saucer, which we act and take part in if we end up on the date there in the original game with Aerith, Tifa or Yuffie.
Dear Mom and Dad, sorry for not getting in touch sooner, but I'm working at the Gold Saucer as an actress now. It wasn't easy, and I had a lot of help from people along the way. But I managed to land a starring role. Enclosed are 2 tickets to my play. Looking forward to seeing you both there.
Jessie Raspberry as the princess?
Although I'd love to have seen Barrett as the princess. But given that it seems Jessie's not being upfront with her mum about things, I did wonder if this was also part of the ruse while she works against Shinra. But the tickets that she's included would indicate perhaps that this was maybe sent in earlier days. The princess role seems to me clearly a reference to the play that is seen in the original At the Gold Saucer on date night. Given there's been options there and elsewhere for Jessie, will we see the date scenarios expanded upon when we actually get to the Gold Saucer? And with Jessie being included in these possibilities, maybe getting to revisit her true passion of acting.
So why not come home and get a job at the Sector 8?
Biggs and Wedge seem to survive, so I don't see any reason why Jessie won't. And I did see tonight in a video that producer had nervously laughed when asked directly about Jessie's survival. But as Cloud's snuck back out, see a little bit more here with Jessie's mum,
Maybe just a couple slices, Mrs. R.
her life before Avalanche.
Hey, I'm doing it for you guys. You don't want me going to work on an empty stomach.
I'm planning on using a weaker blasting agent this time. Since I can't get in touch with my supplier, our only option is to loot a warehouse owned by Shinra. Hey there.
This it?
Now comes the hard part. I'm gonna use this to sneak into the 7-6 annex.
Alright, let's get to it.
Sorry, but you're staying outside. Only I know what to steal from where, so it's gotta be me who goes in.
So, we came all this way just to eat pizza?
You think I'd let you off that easy? You're gonna earn every slice helping Cloud. Just do the thing where you draw everyone's attention away, like you did at my parents'. What's the word again? Maybe I'm more nervous than I thought.
Diversion.
Yeah, that. Nice one, military man.
So what? Does this mean we're gonna ask some Shinra folks out to dinner?
You know damn well what she means.
So, seems Biggs and Wedge are to be the comedic duo, but I just feel it misses the mark a little bit there.
Any better. When you see a flare go up, that's your cue. Rush the front gates and make for the warehouse plaza. The more hell you raise, the more time you buy me.
You're gonna run this guy into the ground, aren't you?
How much time do you think you'll need?
Not too much. I'll be in and out. I'll send up another flare when I'm done. We rendezvous in the vacant lot up ahead.
Hold on. How are we supposed to get back to the slums? Wait for the first train?
No. I want to be back before that. Don't worry. I have something worked out. Now, let's get this done.
So for Cloud, he's very much still a side player in this mission, assisting with the main goal. But we have a little bit of added info about Jessie and her dad here.
Finally she caught a break. Top billing. Parents were thrilled. And then, right before opening night,
Her dad had an accident.
collapsed from overwork. And in the worst possible place, Mako's storage. Lay there half a day before someone found him. Been like that ever since. No change whatsoever. That's what got her into planetology. Led her to seek out Avalanche. How far we've come.
I do like the addition of the backstory for Jessie and Co. Although my initial response was, just a bit of padding. I do see it's important to bulk these hitherto practically unknown characters up for the remake. Indeed, I feel it's important not to be drawn too much into what I want from this remake and to be open to appreciate what the makers are trying to do, wherever that goes. The way the remake progresses, it seems clear that this is something you're going to need to prepare to do, and actually depending on how the plot goes, it will determine how I can move this series past the first part of the remake. Will it be the same kind of thing, or will I need to take a different approach?
Hey man, the plaza's that way.
So we see there that somebody's literally beating us to the punch, but before we find out who, we've got some people to battle, and the return of our new semi-main antagonist.
I can handle this solo.
What? You're trying to keep us out of it now? Don't be a jackass.
We're in this together.
Don't expect me to save you.
If you need to check your gear, now's the time. Give the word when you're good to go.
You can use that vending machine over there to stock up.
For the main event.
So the vending machines are an added little shop throughout the game to allow additional stocking up, usually right before major missions or the battles within. This also comes with the little bench rest function, which sort of replaces sleeping, etc. Also here we had a little battle practice area, which I assume if you keep going it will build up, and that's quite a good thing for new players. Early on in the game it also gives some free time to learn the mechanics of the new fighting system for everybody.
And us?
We're the backup. First, we climb high enough to get a vantage point, then we go to town on them.
And here we see the scene that mirrors the one from the original that I pulled from part 3. And as you can see, a flashback scene, and it's so closely replicated in the remake, but I presume there's some production reason for changing his shirt from green to white.
I'm going to Midgar.
Should have figured. All the guys are leaving.
But I'm not like them. I'm not going just to look for work. I'm going to be a soldier. The best of the best. Like Sephiroth.
A great war hero, huh? Isn't it pretty hard to become a soldier?
I always liked this scene in the
So I
original
won't be
game,
back for a long time.
just when
Guess
really
not.
starting to open up the
Guilty
backstory
neighbors.
for the characters.
I'll try.
A lovely scene in both games, which shows the past that they
Just
both share,
promise me one thing.
and with the promises
When we're older and you're a
she's
famous
asking.
soldier, if I'm ever trapped or in trouble, promise you'll come and save me.
to return to save her. I've always felt that it showed that
That's what
at least
heroes do.
Tifa had feelings
They
for
save
him.
people. Please? Just once. Come on, promise me.
And I think we do see glimpses of this softer side of Cloud still, though, such as when he accepted the original payment for helping Tifa out in Sector 7. But clearly, Cloud is not quite who she remembers. This wee flashback, perhaps showing Cloud 2 maintains feelings for Tifa as he thinks about their conversation in the
I
bar.
heard you're having second thoughts.
I know we have to think big if we're going to make a difference. But not like this. I feel trapped.
That's the signal.
All according to plan.
Let's go.
Right.
Yeah. Don't worry, I've got this.
So, a bit more of the comedic edge from Wedge there, a little more successfully implemented than previously. I think I did chuckle at the time. You're following 2 or 3 stages of enemies of increasing difficulty. We face what the game deems a point where we require a summon to help us. We see a major deviation from the original game. Having not received it in that yet, I can't really show the comparison of that. As soon as I've got it in that, I'll pop it on the next the video that I've got that. But in that, it appears as one devastating cinematic attack, and depending on the material's level, you would maybe only be able to cast it once, twice, thrice or 4 times, I think, before mastering it and unlocking unlimited uses, depending on your magic points, of course. In the remake, though, similar to other Final Fantasies, I believe the summon monster now joins to fight with us. So as we await the command to summon Ifrit, I left this little bit in. One just highlights the ATB effects, when how it does affect the in-play fighting, but also I just think it does look kind of cool. So the summons in the remake, as I said, are effectively an added member of the party, obviously with substantially stronger attacks. They will attack normally on their own, but we can implement 1 or 2 stronger instructions, something we didn't get to see when I was doing this was its final move once the summon bar runs down, which is Hellfire. I just obviously ended the fight a bit too soon.
Let's do this. No holding back. See ya.
Now that's what I call teamwork. Stay where you are.
Well, shit.
All right, assholes, show me your hand.
And our crazy early boss is back, still a bit wacky, but here he's going to ditch the bike and engage in combat directly with Cloud. Clearly setting up further battles down the road a bit, I think, and again, well, prejudice perhaps to the original storyline gets in the way of the enjoyment of the character, maybe, but as I've said, I'll keep trying. Admittedly cheesy, he seems to me like perhaps one of these antagonists who at a crucial point in the story will actually side with the heroes and perhaps sacrifice himself or something, but we'll see.
There are higher heights to which you and I can still soar. Okay, boys, give him everything you've got, but kill the swordsman first.
His assistance here, I feel, showing mutual respect for a fellow soldier, which is kind of what has given rise to my initial thoughts on him.
Try not to die. I'll see you on the road, my friend.
So with Roche dispatched, things start to look a little bit ropey for Cloud, Biggs and Wedge. Enemies starting to advance on all sides.
God damn it.
When they're rescued by another branch of Avalanche.
Your team shouldn't be here.
Glad yours is.
Come here.
So here Biggs clearly doesn't want it to be known that Cloud's been hired, as it will be shown that our group has broken away from this main cell.
Wedge will be fine, but you won't be if they start asking questions.
And who are they?
The first guests to the party, another Avalanche cell. Our holier-than-thou friends from the old guard. It's always their way or the highway. Lately, they've been a real pain in the ass. Till now.
So then why are they here?
Beats me. We've been on the outs ever since our cell got labeled too extreme. Though they're the ones running around with mil-spec gear. Word is, they cut a deal with Wutai. Promised them all the materia in Midgar, apparently. Think there's any truth to that?
You tell me.
Sometimes I think we're the only ones who've realized the war's over.
Reference to Wutai there, which is a place which had a role in the original game, but it was quite limited. It would seem that the war that was between Wutai and Shinra will also become a major story arc throughout the remake. Wutai, of course, will be featured more prominently, I would imagine, in the Intergrade that's come out with Yuffie, but I'm waiting till I get to play that before I can really comment on what's happened there. I do like the references to the wider Avalanche group coming to a deal
Just swinged, I think.
for materia with Wutai. I think this parallels nicely with the side mission later in the original game when Yuffie steals our group's materia. We have to chase it down.
Wow.
Also, I think shows this element will be sort of bigger this time around.
Just fine.
And Wedge adding some further comedy as everyone gets to stare at his arse. And good to know it's okay though. So as we make our escape, we get another glimpse of the upper plate area, and it's this kind of thing I've never really considered, just these normal lives and houses, etc. as I've said. Seeing and hearing the reality of being a part of a group carrying out these actions. And when I played Final Fantasy VII at the age of 16, this is just not the kind of thing which would enter your mind. Partly it was less reference due to the cuts to the game, but also it's difficult to take maybe things as seriously with the graphics back in the day.
Right. This is it.
And with the hyper-realistic graphics of the modern version, yeah, I wonder how that will impact the younger players today.
Now that I've got my
And
flashlight,
Shinra clearly on high alert.
everything we need for
Maybe something greater that they're planning for than just the response to this attack,
For your dad's sake.
but we'll see that perhaps in later episodes.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you coming all this way with me. And like I said
And
before,
having procured
I'd be
some
grateful if you
parachutes
kept
that
this between
Jessie
us
has
until
known the
after
whereabouts of, we're ready to make our escape
things.
back to the slums.
Okay, who's ready to fly?
Me!
Hey, Cloud, you let him down gently, alright?
Yep.
Bit of a cheesy moment here, slightly Top Gun-esque music throughout.
One more thing.
Whoa! Stop it! What in the hell are you trying to...
Easy, you'll make us fall.
Not if you do first!
Swing by my place after, so I can pay you in full.
And well, we're not even trying to be subtle with the innuendo anymore, are we? So clearly Cloud's keen to get a move
You
on,
have to be such a hard ass, bro.
I ain't your bro.
and I don't think it's his ass that's hard after Jessie's comment there. Anyway, we go into a beautiful, if slightly cheesy scene, and it is actually very reminiscent of a mission later in the original game when the group have to return to Midgar and parachute from the High Wind, which is a new ship that we get later in that game. And I wonder if that will show up in the remake, how that will work out.
I wish I could have done more. Just got hurt.
You did enough. You took one for the team. Be proud.
Yeah? Yeah.
So some nice encouragement
We're
there,
flying high these
maybe
days.
showing a softening in Cloud's
Now,
attitude.
more than ever.
He's a keeper, alright.
Yeah. Together, we can take on the world.
And yeah, very over the top. I feel almost like it's the end of a game perhaps, but again, I wonder how much of that view personally has to do with this not being part of the original game, but we'll keep touching on that as we go through here. So back into the slums, and Wedge delivers some disappointing news.
So don't hang around or they might get the wrong idea.
Huh.
I'm telling you this for your own good, Cloud. People around here love to gossip.
They know about Jessie and Avalanche?
I'm not quite sure on Wedge's warnings here, perhaps just suggesting that Cloud might not want to hang about Jessie's house lest there be gossip, but he does also seem to have a slightly more serious warning around Jessie's attitude, which perhaps is maybe a cover.
Guys aren't allowed, remember?
Wedge doing his best to block any plans Cloud might have. So overall, with this mission in Chapter 4 of the remake, I did find it to be a little bit drawn out and pointless initially, but knowing the main story as I do, that's maybe being unfair to what is a new game, and I think remake should be thought of as being used in its widest possible sense. So instead of waiting for Jessie, we have to follow Wedge back to his cats, though I'm sure this was maybe not the pussy that Cloud had in mind.
Okay.
Thanks for seeing me home.
Really sorry about your ass.
I've had a look around about
It's all good, bro.
the names of the cats there, and whilst there's some reference to perhaps it being characters from previous games. I think there's also a fair view that it's a reference to Biggie Smalls, and also the fact that I think the person considered in his and Tupac's killing was a man named Reggie, but a strange reference if it is, but on we go.
Thanks for stepping up,
So,
Merc.
barrier materia is maybe not quite what Cloud was expecting as a reward. But again, Jessie's real agenda is hard to read. Continually mixed signals.
Mind coming over tomorrow night? My roommates should all be out for a while.
Are you seriously that desperate? Just let go already.
Only if you promise to come back tomorrow night. Deal?
So we have here a choice which again makes me think that the dating scene later could be expanded upon, possibly maybe into its own chapter.
No promises, but I'll think it over.
Really? You will? I make a mean pizza, I'll have you know. Marsh, Loosh, Black Millie, Red Jelly. I use only the best ingredients. Sound good?
Never heard of any of that stuff.
Oh, you are so adorable, you know that? You just leave everything to me. It'll be great. Nighty-night. Psych.
She really is playing games with Cloud's and arguably the players' minds. So we head back to our room in Sector 7, but the night is not over for young Cloud yet. Following Jessie's mixed advances, we can rest and explore the sector at night a little, or head to sleep for the night. Choosing to do so then leads to a lovely interaction between Tifa and Cloud, which lovingly references I think the flashback scene between the two that we've seen there, and gives us a further layering of the relationship between the two.
Yeah.
You were out for a while. You weren't thinking of leaving Midgar anytime soon, were you?
Well, seems this old friend of mine's in a tight spot. A long time ago I said I'd be there for her. Made a promise. So...
I do wonder if that little focus on the gloves
Can't say this is quite what I had
will
in
mean
mind
anything.
when I put that on you way back when.
If you want to talk, I'm listening.
Huh? What's with you all of a sudden?
With me?
Like you're losing that hard edge.
That bad?
Not at all. I like it. Maybe Marlene won't be so scared of you next time. I'm really glad to have you back, Cloud. Really glad. It's pretty late, huh? I'd like to catch up more, but we should probably both get some sleep, yeah?
Yeah.
Good night, then.
Good night, Tifa.
During the night, the wraiths returned. And as we'll see, they have now found a voice.
Sleep and dream the sweetest dreams.
Wasn't sure if this is Sephiroth's voice that we hear there, but we're going to see the reason for the wraith's appearance shortly.
Cloud!
What's wrong?
Come with me! Quickly!
But this time, everybody seems able to see them, and
We were getting ready to
they're
set
here in
out when those things
vastly
showed up and came
greater
after us.
numbers than we've seen previous.
Barrett and Jessie are holding their ground, but for how long? I don't know.
Well, at the very least, it seems certainly the members of Avalanche can see them.
Ready?
You know it.
Some reasonably easy battles with the minor wraiths to begin with. But we've heard already, and we will hear further, that they seem to be preventing the group from doing certain things.
Now's our chance.
Gotcha.
There's way too many of them.
Again?
Are they trying to stop us from reaching the others? Cloud, this way.
We are pushed down certain routes by these wraiths, and it seems indeed that they are forcing us and the rest apart, or maybe waiting to get us together at the right time.
Barret!
Where you been?
They just keep coming! We've gotta do something!
Hang on!
Some more intense fighting, as the wraiths seem that they won't be stopped, and as we battle some more tougher foes. And with these wraiths now named as spectres during the battles.
How's your ammo?
Running low!
However, Jessie is disarmed and knocked to the ground and looks to be injured. And the spectres gather around, simply take a look and retreat. It would seem they have achieved what they set out to do, which looks like taking Jessie out, meaning that she will not be on the reactor mission.
Easy now.
We ain't putting on a damn show.
Though that line from Barrett I think means that it is only the Avalanche members that can see the spectres, which makes sense because Cloud could only see them after encountering the Flower Girl, and the group also in the back of their interactions with Cloud. Everything connected with these spectres seemingly
Could say it didn't, but
connected back to that Flower Girl, who we will meet soon in coming episodes.
God, this is so
The
embarrassing.
commonly held view is that these spectres are here to keep the original story on track, and that by defeating them we will see a new storyline unfold. But with that voice we heard previously, I'd like to offer an alternative possibility. Because it sounded like Sephiroth,
What
I wonder
about
if
the
it could
mission?
be
We
further
already
mental
sent
projection,
Ethan,
mindfucks
remember?
for Cloud and
Don't
company
tell me you're thinking
to
of
make
calling
them
it
and
off.
perhaps the players think that the changes are coming when perhaps they're actually not. That would tie in with the whole
If you need someone
Genoa,
to step up, I'm your man.
Sephiroth Cloud mix up thing. I don't know, we'll need to see. I did also wonder though if it was perhaps a nod, these spectres, to the fans of the original game who are dead set against any changes, with the remake's heroes literally fighting against these players and arguably limited views. I did mention in the first video that anybody who played the original game or loved the original game would love this remake, and I stand by that, but it may be that further parts will take away things too far from the original story for some, but time will tell.
Let's get this show on the road to Mako Reactor 5. Once you got your gear in order, head to the station for the meet. Got it?
So, Cloud is back in, and we're going to get ready to get back in line with the original game story.
I'm counting on you, soldier boy.
Forgot to give this
And we
to
see
you,
that
bro.
acing the darts
Your
does
prize
have
for
some
taking
benefit,
top
as we
spot
get
on the
some
darts
luck
leaderboard.
materia,
You earned it.
which if it ties in
After
with
you
how it
guys
worked
come
in
back
the
from the
original,
plate,
I
maybe we can
think
play around together.
should help us obtain better items, etc. after battles.
Relegated to stagehand once again. I'm starting to think I'll never have a starring role.
There's always next time.
What's this? Words of encouragement?
And when we get to the end of this one, something I did want to just
I
mention
need them.
about my videos is that, as you may be aware by now if you've been watching through, they're not planned to be walkthroughs or detailed instructions on any particular section or character, etc. Although, if these would prove to be popular and go anywhere, maybe not be adverse to that kind of idea, but simply I wanted to make something which shows my love of the original game and the remarkable differences to the remake, and I hope we're achieving that though so far. Now in the original game here, whilst in the background it seems Marlene's mixing some cocktails, have a little pre-mission discussion and we head out, but first we have to describe materia to Barrett, but that takes ages, so we've skipped ahead.
Huh?
I can tell you're nervous.
That obvious, huh? Okay, I'm ready now.
After a nice final little supportive conversation with Tifa and a last little run around Sector 7, it's time for us to head round to the Sector 7 train station, ready to get on with the mission. And in the remake, as we get to the station, we encounter Chadley again, and he will start to pop up everywhere as we go, assessing things for him. And on this occasion, to reward us for our assessments thus far, he's got some ATB boost materia. And as we do go on through these, I will keep trying to remember to assess the enemies as I play. Again, you know, the station, a very different affair between the two games. I always found this little scene in the original one a bit odd. Never sure what these two at the lamppost were actually up to. I always felt it seemed like, well, some kind of suicide pact or something. So after a quick stare at the two of them, we're going to head on and join the rest of the crew. And although we do see Biggs there in the original, shook up a little bit, and he's actually already way ahead out in the field preparing
On schedule?
for the mission.
All we can do is hope.
Today really gotta be the day, huh?
Ain't no stopping this train we're on, son. A lot of people risk their lives to get it rolling. Already put the word out, more's coming too. Shut them all down by today, or we shut another down for you. Ain't on us, not us.
I like that comment. I think a good example of the kind of rationale that people taking such actions as Avalanche, you know, may well have. So as a team board the train, we're going to head for Mako Reactor 5, but that's for next time. As ever, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this part, and please like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in part 5. Cheers for now. Bye bye.